Welcome back. Thanks for coming back to Bali Today. As I said before, this is our show of movers and groovers and legends. And my next guest is definitely on the mover category. I know he's cool, I know he's a groover, and I think one day he may be a legend if he isn't already somewhere that I don't know about. But my next guest is a lovely guy who I'd like you to meet named Tah Riq. Welcome.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
Hi, thanks. That's a good firm handshake.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, no worries. I'll start with the most important thing.
Okay.
Tariq, I ask everybody that comes to the show to please tell me your Bali story.
My Bali story.
How you came to discover or be living here.
How I wound up here.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Let's see, in a nutshell. I was working in graphic design in the UK.
Okay.
Successfully so. Then the company I was working for collapsed on itself due to the economic situation.
Almost recently, like the world financial crisis of the last 2 years.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I had a good job. I was just about to move in from my student accommodation to a fully fledged adult apartment. And
your life is about to begin.
Yeah, exactly. My adult life is about to begin. So everything was all set up in place. And then when the company collapsed and I got made redundant, this happened just as I was moving from one house to another.
Yep.
So I ended up all of a sudden with no job and no house. And
from this high pedestal of achievement, right?
Exactly,
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
So having the rug swiftly swept out from under me, I decided that, regardless to how secure something is, it's always very, very fragile. And so I started looking for alternatives. I'd had enough of the UK and the negativity. By that point, I thought I could get another design job, but I thought, no, this is perfect. Because I started reframing in my head and thinking, no job, no house, no long-term relationship, I'm free. I can do anything now.
It's like turning it over, like, I'm a loser, I've got nothing to, oh, look how free I am.
Exactly.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So a friend of mine actually had been in Bali for 2 years.
Okay.
A really, really close friend of mine. And I started, exploring gap year options because I wanted to see a different side of the world. And she said to me, why don't you come to Bali? You can stay with me for a while. It's a really creative community. I think you'll get along well here. So I was like, you know what? Done. Put my stuff in storage, bought a ticket, and left.
Well, how long ago was this now?
11 months ago.
Oh, he's so new. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations, It's a very elite club.
Oh, yeah, it feels that way.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And this is the beauty. Everyone has an amazing story
Yeah.
as to why. Very few people went, oh, my life aspiration is to go and live my life on Bali. Well, me maybe, but most people. and it's a series of events that brings them here.
Yeah.
So welcome to this amazing club.
Thank you. I feel well and truly welcomed.
Great. And now, I know that you're a musician, but you just mentioned that you also were working in graphic arts.
Well,
so how many CVs do you have?
Oh, a few. I have a degree and a master's in 3D animation, actually.
Oh.
Which is something
He's hired. He's hired.
which is something I hardly touch these days.
Oh.
But then I got into branding and corporate identity, and that's how I got into graphic design, designing logos and things like that. And I thought, coming to Bali, I'd be pursuing the same thing. But then, really, and but then, I don't know, it was all very serendipitous. I'd be at a restaurant, and someone would say, oh, Tariq, I heard you play guitar. Why don't you, get up and play a song, So I was like, okay. So I got up and I played a song, and next thing I know, the place is cheering. The owner comes up to me and says, how would you like a regular slot? And from then I was like, okay, there could be something in this whole guitar thing. So preemptively, I went out and I bought a new guitar.
What have you got?
It's nothing fancy. It's made here in Indonesia. It's a Brunswick guitar.
Yay, made here,
made in
locally.
Indonesia.
I love that.
Yeah, and to be honest, I like the sound that it produces better than the actual flamenco guitar that I brought with me from the UK. So, good craftsmanship.
Better guitars in Indonesia. That's good. That's good to know. Well, this is the interesting thing. When I first met Tariq, and you handed me your promotional CD, and I thought, this is either a completely unique individual, or this is a new generation of musicians. Because, of course, I grew up in the period of time where if you were a musician, you had absolutely no self-promoting skills whatsoever, and they all had to have managers, and then there was all that sort of stuff. So is it unique, or is it your generation, Tariq? What's going on?
I think more and more these days, because of the advances in technology and the resources that are available, that it's easier to self-promote. You can set up a website relatively easily. You can go to a studio and get some recordings done, and very quickly, and for relatively low cost, have something that sounds professional that you can then pitch. But I mean, obviously, then it's down to your self-marketing ability. And I mean, the way I got the work that I did is just by getting the name and number of the GM of wherever I wanted to play, calling them up directly and saying, hi, I think my music is right for your venue, and your venue is right for my music, and I would like to meet and discuss this further. And then just actually turn up, with a CD and with, a menu of services, with pricing, everything all done beforehand, photographs, the lot, and then go, here's my media package, have a few days to think about it. I'll, give you a call in 5 days or so.
So for all you fledgling musicians out there who want to know how to do it, this is it. You've just gotten the whole package of how to do it.
This is why I'm so glad I left the UK when I did. No offense to my friends and all who are still in the UK. But I'm surrounded by people with a can't-do attitude, It's like you want to run a business, don't ask advice from the employee, Whereas here, you're surrounded by, there is no Craigslist, there is no, job center, you just find a way to creatively make money. So in essence, regardless to what people are doing here, it's always creative because the way they're going about their business is creative. And so when you're surrounded by these kind of people and you're rubbing shoulders with them on a daily basis, it starts to rub off on you and you feel, you know what, I think I can do this too. And it's really through being here in Bali and being around everyone who's making it on their own. And so many people have interesting stories to tell, and so many people gave up so much to be here. People who've had, the 2 houses and the BMW parked outside the front and just sold it all. Just because once they reached that plateau, they felt that this is not what life is about. I can do more than this. It's not about your material possessions. And so...
This is fantastic. All right, I'm going to ask you.
Sure.
Congratulations. I think you're in the right place.
I feel I am.
Please play for us.
Sure. Okay.
Great. Isn't this amazing? Better guitars made in Indonesia. I love hearing that.
Well,
and when did you start playing guitar?
When I was 14.
Wow. Cool.
But I was obsessed with guitar. I didn't start playing it. I started...
You dove in?
I did nothing, little else. Okay, so I'm originally from Jordan in the Middle East.
Oh, yes.
And an instrument that I've always loved is the Arabic oud.
Yeah.
And it's like a fretless guitar, but I don't play oud, I play guitar. So I wanted to write a piece for guitar that was a homage to my Arabian roots.
Sure.
So this piece is called Taqsim, which basically means a oud solo.
Oh, all right, all right. Beautiful. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. Tariq will stay here. So come back to Bali today.